Hey, how are you? My name is Raven Woods. For those of you who don't know me, I am the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks, the IEP. So if you are new to my lives, post a one below. A one below if you're new. I want to get to know you. If you're an oldie but goodie, post a two below and say hello. You guys know better. So again, if you're new, post a one below. I want to say hi to you. I want to get to know you better. All right. So I'm excited. Normally I go live on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. But I have something going on tonight. So I wasn't going to miss this. And I know you can watch the replay. And then this evening, I'm actually going to do a watch party over on my group. So if you're not part of the group, you've got to join it because it's an amazing group of people. And I go live there all the time. And that's where people communicate back and forth versus, just have the page and the content that goes on that. So you get a lot more over on the group at Autism Mama Rocks, the IEP group. Okay. So again, if you're new to hearing me live, say one, two, maybe even three times, post a one below. I want to say hi to you. If you're new, post a one below if you're new, post a two below if you're an oldie but goodie and you guys know better. So again, go over to the group if you haven't started and going over to the group because again, it's amazing and that's where all the information is and that's where I post a lot of things and it's quite different than here on the page. So definitely click above for notifications for when I go live. I do give a lot of free IEP content and I just recently launched a course and I'm so excited about it. The card actually closes on Sunday, which, I know some of you are upset about that, but you still have time between today and Sunday. And it's at an amazing price. You also have a payment plan of 4, which is completely reasonable. And if you want to join the course, give me a message on the PM. And if you're interested, I'll send you all the information. And I have lots of references on top of that. It's a rockin' course, and I think you guys would love it, especially if you're in that place where things aren't working out. You've tried and tried and tried. You have overwhelm and so much stress going on, and you actually want to save yourself a lot of time in going through this process. I teach you my PPPN that's trademarked, and I have a very successful system that I have been doing for many, many, many years, and now I've actually created a course. So if you want more information, just PM me. Again, if you're one, post a one below. If you're an oldie but goodie, make sure you post a two below. So today, for Thursday's content, we're actually talking about, which I posted above, email that a parent received, and that's where it says email 1. I don't know if it's above or below. You guys have to look, but I just recently posted like 10 minutes ago, and basically what it is it is a session of emails. So there's one email that the school system sent this parent, and then I responded for her in emails 1 through 4 to say my response email 1, my response email 2, because I couldn't put it in a long thing for you. So I had to spread it out, took pictures of it, spread it out into 4, erase the parent's name, erase the child's name, so you can get a gist of the email. And then how the school system responded back, which is the next part. And I say school system's response. I want to say it's 2 pictures. You'll have to look. Again, I don't know if it's above or below, but definitely check it out. And it's amazing because it goes to show I have one more email that I'm going to be sending them at the school because I'm going to set her straight on the bullshit that she said in reference to her response, which I will show you, which she gave the parent a ultimatum. Then she then responded and say, oh, I don't ever do ultimatums. And, I apologize. So not only did she apologize to the parent, but she denied the fact that she made an ultimatum. I'm sorry, ma'am, but when you tell a parent they have 10 days to give you dates of when they're going to come in for an evaluation of going over goals, and if they don't come in, you're going to hold that IEP without them. I'm sorry, but that's an ultimatum. So your correction of, no, I don't ever give ultimatums. Well, I'm not sure if you understand the definition of an ultimatum, but that sure as hell is an ultimatum. So I'm going to be responding saying, thank you for your email and thank you for apologizing. And I'm going to correct her and say, I'm sorry, but what you did was absolutely an ultimatum, because when you give someone a A or B and it's one or the other, and if not, they're going to do something, then that is an ultimatum. I'm not really sure how she, as a principal and a doctor, doesn't comprehend what an ultimatum is. It's called playing dumb, which is the school system is known for that. Okay. So go check out the email again. I don't know if it's above or below, but it's one or the other. Go check it out. It's several emails, and I explain at the top what each are. So it's self-explanatory. And I just went over how I'm going to respond in reference to her last email. But not only did she apologize to the parent, she took a day to respond. So there was a skip day, and then she responded today. And she, again, apologized to the parent, reached out to the director of special education and assistant director of special education. And this is why she didn't respond, because she didn't know laws. So when I responded to her, as you'll see in the emails 1 through 4, and that's why I'm talking about emails today. So, as you'll see in my email 1 through 4, I stated facts. I don't put emotion into emails. I don't sugarcoat them. I'm very direct, and I state facts and law and leave it at that. I put my requests in based off law. And so they cannot, as you see, cannot come back with, like she said, you got 10 days to come in, or we're having an IEP meeting. That went bye-bye, as you see in her response. And then she apologizes. Then the director of special education and assistant director of special education actually called the parent and said, we're going to work this out. We'll set up a Google Doc so we can go back and forth. And that's going to be part of my email that I respond to, and saying, yes, you did do an ultimatum, but on top of that, the Google Doc is all well and good. I do that actually with my school system. However, I requested an IEE at your expense. That needs to be done first. Then we can collaborate via Google Doc that we share in reference to goals. But it's counterproductive to go back and forth on goals when I requested an IEE, and I have to get that to be able to compare the two evaluations to then collaborate with you in reference to goals, right? Okay, so with that said, we're going to talk about emails, all right? So like I said, if you're new, post a 1 below, say hello. Hi, Dinah. Hey, Sabrina, how are you? Okay, so here's the cool thing is emails are crucial. They will make or break you. Emails have covered my ass from the very beginning. Well, not the very beginning. I screwed up a lot for 6.5 years, like I've told you. But after that, I realized the importance of emails, and I realized that a lot of part of why I was screwing up, and aside from not knowing the process for crap and not realizing how important emails were. I mean, I can prove everything because I have the emails, and it's awesome, So I can actually go back, and this is what I do. And as you see in what I posted, again, I don't know if it's above and below, but I repeat back what they say. All right. I'm big on repeating back, as you say, da, 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 and even in my response back to her, in regards to what she said, I'm big on that, because if you quote what they say, how are they going to argue it? And then if you quote the law, how are they going to argue that? Which is why she reached out to the director of special education and assistant director, because she didn't know what the hell to do. She didn't know the laws. And then she was stuck because I caught her. All right. I stopped her in her tracks and said, no. Your ultimatum. And again, the email that I'm talking about is above and below. I don't know where it is. That email cracks me up, because the fact that this parent actually got an apology, amazing. The fact that this parent got a phone call from the director of special education that she did record via Rev. And she got a phone call from the assistant director. They were in the same room, and they were just so nice, and they said, we're so sorry that you're going through this. We understand what you're asking for. Tell us how we can help you in any way. Now, mind you, the director of special education has been called. She called this director of special education multiple times this year, who has ignored her call. Now, after my email to the principal, all of a sudden, the director of special education and assistant director of special education is all of a sudden calling her and saying, we're so sorry. We appreciate, your email, and we're going to address it, and let's collaborate via a Google Doc in regards to your goals. Do you see how that email, when you go check it out, you'll see how it went from the principal saying, we're going to meet, you have 10 days, and if you don't meet in 10 days, we're meeting without you, all the way to the principal apologizing and saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to give you an ultimatum. I didn't think that's what it was. And to my understanding, this is what I thought the last meeting was about. And, I've passed it on to the director of special education and assistant director of special education because she knows that I got her on law. I got her on the ultimatum, and I called her butt out. I was not going to put up with this parent receiving an ultimatum based off her not wanting to go into a meeting that would be completely counterproductive to talk about goals that she still doesn't agree with, and the school system saying, hey, you got to come in 10 days or we're going to meet without you. No, it doesn't work like that. So I then responded, as you can see, again, I don't know where above or below, and said, no. Number one, you're not going to give me an ultimatum. Number two, based off Texas state law, this is what it states. Okay, the parent can disagree, and this is in all states actually because it's based off IDEA, and each state has to adhere to this part, okay, which is if you have an evaluation by the school system, you don't agree, all right? So therefore, you have the right to request the school to pay for, at their expense, a IEE, which is an independent education evaluation. Okay, so what that is you go on the outside to a speech therapist, OT, whatever you want to go to, BCBA, developmental pediatrician, which I highly recommend. So if you're requesting an FBA and BIP, which this parent is because it needs updated because it's obviously not working based off the behavior that's going on. So the parent needs a BCBA and the parent needs a developmental pediatrician to then follow through not only with the diagnosis, but to then further document the things that are going on, the video she's taken, and all this type of thing that she will then get a better evaluation so she can then compare it to the evaluation that the school did. Okay. And this is all part of my course. So again, if you're interested, post below or PM me and I will get on a phone call with you and explain what I do. So I keep this kind of basic, but I go into depth in my course. So bottom line, they then respond by phone call, the director of special education, and then by email with how apologetic they are, et cetera, because she can't do that. The school system by law has to pay for an IEE or take me to due process. So the school system is never going to take you to due process because you requested an IEE. All right. I've never, ever seen that. And I've worked with hundreds of parents, and I have never seen a school system take a parent because they have one, and you'll see in my response, you have one or the other. If I request an IEE because I don't agree with the goals and the evaluation that the school system did, then I can request an IEE based off my disagreement, okay? The school system then has to pay for the IEE, okay, the independent education evaluation, or they have another choice, take me to due process because you think yours is perfect. Nothing's perfect. So if a school system then takes you to due process based off they think their evaluation is in complete perfection, all right, which again, nothing is in complete perfection, then the school system then has to prove whoever takes someone to due process, parent or teacher or school system, they're the ones who have to then start off with their proof of why they took that parent to due process, or if the parent files for due process, then they have to be the ones, it's called burden of proof. So either the school system or the parent, whoever applies for due process at the very beginning, who initiates it, okay? They're the ones who are required to provide what is called the burden of proof. So they're the ones that everything's thrown on. And if you go to due process, which I have, you better have your facts and you better have everything together. And no, you don't have to hire a special education attorney to go to due process if you have your crap together. Okay. So I teach parents this as well, because why spend money on a special education attorney who charges out the butt, because they know parents who are looking for a special education attorney will pay whatever it is and whatever it takes, because that's what people do for the kids. So in my course, I teach how you do it on your own, because it's imperative to have your own documentation. Nobody's going to fight for your child the way you are. How many times have you ever gotten an attorney for whatever purpose, divorce, etc., and they didn't say anything and everything that you would have said, and you're like standing there in court, if you go through a divorce and child custody, which many of us have, and you're like, no, don't say that, say this, Same thing with a special education attorney, where they're going to say things that even though you told them over and over and over and over, they're going to say things that you wish something more was said and could actually create a huge impact. So that's why I teach parents how to do it on their own. Okay, so now going back again, go look at that email because you'll see what I did. Again, I don't know if it's above or below, and I'll answer y'all's questions in a few minutes. So in my course, I teach all of this in depth, all right? So I'm just briefly going over this, but if you're interested, my course closes, the cart closes on Sunday. Not sure when I'm going to launch it again, but it's amazing. I have a huge group of people, lots of references. So if you're interested, 4-payment plan, super easy, very reasonable, let me know. But bottom line, the importance of emails, and I'll tell you, if you don't know how to write an email in the right way, all right, it will make or break you, all right? So number one, it will make or break you if you write an email based off emotion. That's number one. So you get an email from the school. If you're anything like me, any email from the school, any documentation from the school, like, I showed you guys my recent, 19-page complaint, that was founded. Everything was founded except one thing, all right, out of 19. Not too bad. So my thing is, and I kind of knew that one wasn't going to be founded, but I was putting it in there anyway. So bottom line, because the school system has to still do the paperwork, so I was going to create more paperwork. And I told them, if you don't agree with me and you're not going to work with me, I'm going to make you do so much paperwork, your head's going to spin. And I did. So my thing is if you put emotion into emails, it is going to break you because the school system does not give two hoots about your emotions. They don't care about what you think and feel. They say they do. We want to collaborate with you in regards to goals. We want you part of this IEP team. Do you really think that's accurate, or do you think that they'd rather just meet on their own and just decide and be done with it and not have all these long IEP meetings? Of course they do. And of course they push parents in getting to that meeting. Just think about your yearly meeting, okay? I tell parents all the time, if you're not prepared, don't go. But the school system will say, no, this is your yearly. You have to go. No, you don't. You can put it off and say, I have a lot of things to get together. Can you provide me with the recent progress reports, which you should already have? And if they don't, then that's non-compliance. But you need to have everything in order so that you can then review IEPs, which you need to do that on a quarterly basis, as I tell you, but whatever. If it's your yearly, you better make sure that you're ready. All right. Now you should be ready and you should, already have all your documentation together. But if you don't, do not go to an IEP meeting that you're not prepared for. I don't give two craps what the school system says to you. There's no mandated thing for a parent to go to an IEP meeting, meaning you can't refuse because they can hold it without you. Now, if you put in an email saying, I don't refuse coming, I am going to come, I am fully aware that this is the yearly meeting. However, there's some things that I need to address before I can come to the meeting and it be a productive meeting. So that's just saying, hey, I need some more time and I need to go over some things before we have a productive meeting, which is your right. Okay, they can't say, no, we have to hold it before the yearly expires. The reason they do that is if they didn't, they would be non-compliant. But the parents pushing it off is okay. So them not pushing it and putting it into documentation, et cetera, and them pushing you to do that would be them not complying with law. All right, so they have to do that. Now, don't let that type of push affect your decision-making process. And know that you can push any IEP off based off you needing more information, based off you needing to review a little further so that accurate information comes out of your mouth and that things go productive in the IEP meeting. Because as my trademarked PPPN states, you have to be able to plan, okay, and prepare the right way. So those two are the first P. You got to plan and prepare. If you don't know how to plan and prepare, you're going to fail. Because then after you plan and prepare, you have to then go present in the right way. Then you have to be able to go persuade in the right way. That's your PPP, all right? So you have to be able to plan and prepare, present, persuade, negotiate if you have to, all right? So if you don't know how to plan and prepare, the rest ain't happening. How are you going to present and persuade if you don't have your preparation and plan together? You have to have a baseline to start off having a plan, to then create a plan of action, to then take action, which the taking action comes after the prepare and plan part that you're presenting. That is taking action. Then you're persuading them to then come in your favor based off what you're persuading them to do, based off having one hell of a solid plan of action. All right. And that's what I teach my students and in my course. So going back to emails. All right. If you put emotion into emails, meaning I feel, I don't think, I have to do this. Anything with an I, leave out. Okay. If you look at my email, I don't put I don't put you. Keep those words out of it. I and you. You is accusatory. I is I feel. I believe this. I think this is accurate. They don't care what you think. You got to show them. There has to be an action piece to what you're presenting them, because you're presenting as well in an email, and you're persuading them in an email. Go look at wherever it is up above. Somebody, maybe you can tell me if this video, is it above or below those emails that I posted? So if you look at those emails, I'm very direct. I'm very to the point. I don't sugarcoat crap. All right. I first address anything they did wrong, which you'll see. I said, don't you ever, I will say this one time. And that's what I said in the email. I will say this one time. Don't you ever give me an ultimatum. And this is what I wrote for another parent. All right. You don't do that. All right. So basically I'm setting precedence of, I ain't putting up with your shit. That's number one. Number two, what you state is wrong is basically what I go into. And this is what Texas law states. Let me inform you. All right. So I love informing educators and principals of schools of the law, because they're obviously negligent in educating themselves on that. You're a doctor in education, but you have no thought process or even education or facts on the law. How is that? How are you a doctor in education, a principal of a whole school, and have no knowledge of the law, of your state's law and idea? I don't understand. So I basically tell her what the law states, and then she passes it on to the director of special education. Good for you, lady, because you obviously don't know your stuff. And then that's when the director of special education contacted the parent and said, we're so sorry, kissing her ass. All right. So, and the principal apologized. It's perfection in its best. I love it. I mean, it's such a rush to me to be able to set somebody in their place. Don't ever dictate to me. Especially if you're going to dictate the law. You know, when you're an advocate for COPA, you have to take a pretty hefty test. You'd think I was an attorney because the test we got to take. And it's crazy, you know, I could be an advocate under COPA, you know, after taking their advocate course. But honestly, their advocate course is awesome. It is. All right. And taking the law test and all that stuff to be an advocate that's placed on their website. But my experience came from 6.5 years of trial and error and hell. All right. So with that said, going back to, okay, keep emotion out of emails. Keep it out. No I's. I feel, I this, I that, I don't believe. Who cares what you believe? Nobody cares. I mean, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I know that that's a normal way of conversation. But as I teach you, leave normal conversation out. It's a foreign language when you enter into the IEP arena. All right. I call it an IEP education and what do I call it? IEP career. All right. You have an IEP career and you have to be able to understand that it's a complete foreign language. So when you guys are going about, I've seen on my group, you can go look if you're not part of the group. It's an amazing group. Where a lot of people recently are putting, okay, I give up. I don't know what to do. What do you guys suggest? You know, I'm over it. You know, all these different things. And it all comes down to not doing things right. And it's not an offensive thing that I'm saying. It's just fact. Because a lot of things that they're actually saying they're fighting for is legit. But if you don't know how to accurately go after it and you don't know how to PPPN, which the reason I trademarked it is because it has my system has success. And, being able to plan and prepare, present, persuade, and negotiate, you're done. And you may have a successful IEP meeting. Shoot, you may have 2 successful IEP meetings, but you're going to hit that wall. You will, okay? You're going to hit a wall somewhere down the line, and you're going to wish you went back to the baseline and did things in the right way, created the right process, followed the right process so that you then have the tools to be able to, whenever that IEP meeting comes up that blows up in your face, you are solidly prepared. And that's what I help create, is get you solidly prepared, show you how to write emails, show you how to do all these things. Because once you're solidly prepared, it's a rinse and repeat. Practice makes perfect. That's all you got, And bottom line, if you go into IEP meeting and you get caught up and your emotion gets all caught up in it and you kind of lose your train of thought, etc., table the meeting. Come back. Not a big deal. You don't have to be in a rush to get your IEP meeting done. Waiting on goals for 2 weeks is going to provide what? No success happens in 2 weeks versus you go and take 2 weeks to readdress and get your thoughts and your mindset back together so that you can then go. So you're going home and you're going back to that plan and prepare stage so that you can then, create a solid plan of action and then take action. Sometimes we have to go back to the beginning to be able to get our crap together to then go do it right. That's normal, all right? We all screw up. We all do things wrong. So if you get to a meeting and you thought you prepared right, you thought you went through it right, etc., but they catch you off guard or you don't know how to respond accurately, table that meeting immediately. Immediately. Look, I tap the table and then my microphone picks it up all crazy. So you have to be able to table a meeting. Stop feeling rushed to get a meeting done. There's no rush. An IEP is not a one and done. They don't expire. There's no expiration date. Okay? So you need to be able to table your meeting, say, you know what? I need to table this meeting right now. And you're recording, if you listen to me. And you're saying, you know what, Miss So-and-so and everybody here at the table, I'm going to table this meeting right now. We're going to have to come back to the table within the next 2 weeks to readdress A, B, C, D. Because I need to go and gather some more information for my own knowledge so that I can then come back to the table to present to you accurate information. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. That actually is going to put them on the defensive. They're going to think, oh shit, what is she going to go look up? And leaving them in that big question mark is where you want to leave them, because then they cannot prepare for what it is you're going to come back with. Make sense? Okay, so let's go to the next. That's great. Some of them do go great, but you don't want to ever feel rushed. That's not cool. And like I just said, Azar, you can have perfection in several meetings and then it's going to blow up in your face, especially if they're already starting to make you feel rushed, which then becomes more of an intimidation process because they know that you're falling for it. So it can go great for many times. I mean, it happens to so many of us, but there is going to come a time where you're going to hit a wall. So bottom line, no emotion. Second thing, you need to be able to stand up for yourself and address things appropriately, like I did in this email that you can check out, where if they're intimidating you, if they're stating, like this principal did, ultimatums and doing things that are just not appropriate. Like I said, this is not appropriate coming from a principal giving me an ultimatum, which it was to this parent. And so I made sure that the first thing I addressed with this principal was, don't ever give me an ultimatum. And I even said, I'll tell you this one time. That's it. I will not repeat myself. And I'm very big on that. I literally, it's kind of like how I present here to you all. Anything that I say, I do. So it's like, say what you want to say, but you need to do what you say, practice what you preach kind of thing, right? So my thing is I would not deliver information here as an advocate and as a parent who's been in the trenches of the IEP system for over 13 years, working with children for over 19 years, being an educator myself, and the fact that I have created a complete system for parents to be very successful in the IEP process that has panned out amazingly for them. So bottom line, you want to keep emotion out. 2, you want to address any type of intimidation tactic, negativity, etc. Immediately. Number 3, you do not want to respond right away. All right, because if you do, you're responding with emotion. There was one time that I got an email because we were going back and forth on some things, and it went back and forth for forever. And I wrote a 15-page email. Well, I wrote it in Word, back to the school system, because how we do it is I write an email, all right, and I always note my email. So this is another thing that is important with emails, because it can make or break you based off of being confused, all right, or not following. All right. So when I say write things in chronological order and write things, in a detailed format with the email, you always want to respond from top to bottom. You don't want to respond from middle to top to, sideways, bottom to top. It has to go from top to bottom. All right. Always chronological order so people follow how you're speaking and understand and process. All right. You got to remember, people process information differently. So you have to present in the right way via email, in the right way in which they're going to understand. They're not going to read we're not going to read my 15-page email if it wasn't, number 1, enlightening. Number 2, factual. Number 3, calling them out on all kinds of stuff and making sure I was very direct to the point, and it was something they had to continue reading based off of factual information. All right. So if you just ramble all over the place, which I've seen so many emails like this, and I laugh because it reminds me of how I used to be. So I'm not laughing at the parent. I'm laughing at, oh my God, I totally remember this. So I've been where you are, and I've said, I just made a 19 complaint, 18 were founded. I still go through stuff, even though my daughter's IEP is awesome. That doesn't mean the school system always follows things and is always implementing the IEP as it is written. So bottom line, so I'm in the trenches too. So bottom line, number 3, chronological order. And then also I number, all right, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Then I put at the top and the bottom of the email, please respond and forward this email back to me. State at the very top in a different color, see below. And then below each number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, respond to my question, comment, etc. in another color. So, and I will accept 4 colors. So we go back and forth, and it's 4 colors. Mine stays black. Theirs stays green. So then it's black, green, and under number 1. And then number 2, black, green. So they know what you're saying. You know what they're saying. And it's not just this whole paragraph of, okay, what? And you're trying to find in all the writing, where did I say this? I've done it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, black, green, or whatever the color they do, black, red, whatever, their response under yours, your number, okay, I asked, where's the progress reports? They said, we're sending it Tuesday. So you know how they responded versus this long paragraphed email, and you're like, oh shit, how do I find everything here, So again, I'm going to go through them again. Number 1, no emotion. Number 2, you need to be accurate in what you say and be completely fluent in that. All right. No eyes, no anything. Chronological order. You need to be very proficient in that and very organized in your communication via email. Okay. So emotion, number 1. Number 2 is be proficient and have a plan, okay, of how your email is going to go. And number 3 is basically knowing how to write an email in chronological order and numbered. So basically organization. And then I would say number 4, making sure you really, this is across the freaking board, is making sure you know your law. All right. And that's why I created the top 5 laws in which you will use your whole IEP career, and did an 1.5-hour presentation on this, because how it is written is not how we interpret things or even process, you know. Most of us are not lawyers, and reading law, and unless I heard it directly from, Pete Wright lives here in Virginia, in my state. And so, I'm saying to him, why do you write stuff like this? This doesn't even make sense. I don't even understand this, you need to rewrite it in layman terms, rewrite your book. And he laughs and says, well, I have to write it in accordance to law. But however, then you need to understand how to take all that jargon and wording and put it into layman terms, into, okay, this is what it means in normal wording, and be able to then, as I say, flip it and make it about the impact of your child's disability and how it impacts them in the educational setting. Okay, so being able to do that, break the law down into normal wording, and then, because honestly, it's written in foreign language, and then, but yet when you understand how to break it down into normal language, which I do for you in the top 5 laws, and you're going to be like, oh my God, how did I not get this? But I didn't until I was taught and was able to then, okay, I'm going to break this down now, and understanding, what that process is. Now, this course with him, I think, was like $497, $697 or something like that. It was a law-based course. And, but I'll tell you, totally worth it. So that's why I teach it, because of how important it is. He works with advocates as well, just like COPA does. And being able to break it down for people in such a simplistic way, which is what I try to do, is break things down, take wording out of it and all those definitions and verbiage and vocabulary, and really make it about how we normally would talk, and process and understand, because once we process that, we can totally respond in the right way, because when you respond to the school system, you don't have to be as accurate as I am in regards to your verbiage and how you communicate. I've done this a long time, so I know how to communicate in a very accurate, direct way where I don't sugarcoat anything. Here it is. This is the facts. This is what's up. Take it or leave it, but I can't wait to see your argument to it. So make sure you have all that together. Okay. There's more. But obviously I'd be on here all day going over the importance of emails. But if you don't keep your emails and have a folder for them all and understand how to have serious organization as well, then and then label it in the right way, good luck, because you're going to go back to those emails. They're going to be your proof based off things that may happen down the road. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take some questions and we'll go from there. All right. So again, if you're hopping on here, post a 1 below. If you're watching the replay, post a 1 below if you're new, post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie. Welcome. My name is Raven Woods, and I'm the CEO and founder of Autism Mama Rocks, the IEP, and I help parents gain the knowledge and confidence to become the CEO of their IEP meetings. So if you're watching the replay, definitely rewind back, go to the beginning, post a 1 below if you're new, post a 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, and make sure you make comments and I will get to them as I can. All right, so Dinah's new. Welcome. Sabrina's new. And Dinah says, I love watching you. Thank you. Why do you like watching me? What's so entertaining? Because I'm like all over the place. I'm very animated. I'd love to know your reasoning. Sabrina says, Jerry Grizzly, what does that mean? Is that somebody? Are you tagging somebody? An IEE, I think I described that, Sabrina. It's an individual education evaluation, which is what you should get outside of the school's evaluation. So number 1, it's not biased. Number 2, you can compare. And then we have Sabrina. She says, hello, welcome, welcome. Hey, Tara. And then we have Richard on here. You rock. Such great information. Awesome. Thank you. And then I think Sabrina's tagging somebody else. And Tara says, get him, girl. Azar says, definitely need advice on the one-on-one for Liam. I love that name. When he transitions to kindergarten, they don't want to give it, even though his safety is at risk. That's the number 1 reason to get in one-on-one. In a one-on-one, believe it or not, here, I got a drink. Believe it or not, a one-on-one is easy to get. I know you're probably saying, Raven, you're full of crap. But it is if you can argue it in the right way and present your evidence based off of need. So, safety is the number one. His safety is at risk and he needs a person at, yeah, I agree. So Azar, that's absolutely correct. And that little girl in that picture of yours is adorable. Sabrina says, when we pick the kids up, I'll tell you what she told me about that. Huh? Are you talking to me, Sabrina? Azara says, okay. Azara says, I feel rushed, but it went great. I think I responded to that. Anitra says, hello, hello, hello. Sabrina says, someone says. Some of yours, Sabrina, I'm not understanding, so let me know what you meant. I know you tagged people, but what did you mean by when I pick up the kids? Hi, Christine. I'm new. Make sure you post a 1 below if you're new, 2 below if you're an oldie but goodie, so I can say hello and know you're new. I'm new. I'm thinking of Asling. What is that word? A-S-L-I-N-G. What's that? To get my child into kindergarten with an aide. What are my chances? I believe my child can do it. I want to give him a shot. Zara says, thank you. That's my daughter. Okay, so Sabrina says she's talking to her. Is that who you tagged? Is that who I'm saying? All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you tagged him. Okay, so welcome. So is this your first time seeing me live, Azar? And Christine, okay, asking. I'm new. I'm thinking of asking. Okay, don't ever say that you're thinking. As you're new, Christine, so I'm going to tell you straight up. I am very direct and to the point. I don't like comments. Even we were just talking about emails, and I have reason behind my madness. Is never say I'm thinking. I wish. I want. I feel. Keep those words out of any IEP conversation. Get used to that. Get into the pattern and routine. It takes about 90 days to really focus on that, but get rid of those comments. I know it's a normal way of thinking that you would tell me that. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying to you is just get, like when you guys talk to me, get into the habit of speaking in a way that is presenting properly. And it's okay if you don't know how. Say that, and I will help you, okay, with that. Because you want to keep those types of words out of it. So I'm going to request a one-on-one because, okay? So you're not thinking about it. You know that you're going to ask for it. All right, but you're asking me what your chances are because you're nervous about asking for something and being told no. Am I right? Am I right about the fact that you don't want to be shut down? And that's why you're asking me what your chances are. So I'm totally calling Christine out being new. I'm sorry, but this is such a teaching period right here. This is great, you know? So based off what she said, I'm kind of dissecting it and saying, no. Parents don't think. Yes. See? So people say, I'm thinking about, I'm really wanting to do, think about it. You're not really wanting to do it. You don't really think it. You know you're going to do it. You're just trying to get that validation from somebody else. Don't do that. I tell parents all the time, go with your gut. If your gut tells you to do it, just do it. Take action. Don't be the type of person that thinks about it and ponders on it. And, you know, now you want to know how to properly take action. Okay. You want to know the process. All right. And the right way to present it in the right way. However, you don't want to think so much that you almost gaslight your own self. The school system does that enough to us. Don't gaslight yourself. Don't question your thoughts, opinions, and decisions that you really have made in your brain, but you're going to your friends and saying, what do you think about this? I stopped doing that. What do you think about this? Do you think this is the right thing to do? What do you think they're going to say? What can I say differently? All you're looking for is validation and what you already know you're going to do. Why do you need validation? You're the parent. You know your child better than anybody. No friend is going to tell you anything that is really anything other than opinion because they don't know your child like you do. Like I say, that's why in my course, I teach parents to go advocate for themselves. Sure, go have somebody hold your hand. I do it all the time. And I tell my parents, all right, I'll go hold your hand. I'm straight up with it. I will go hold your hand. I'll show up on a Zoom meeting or I'll go physically if you're within a period of area of me. I've also flown places because the parents were like, no, I want you there. But what you need to do is learn. This is what I teach my students. Learn how to advocate for yourself because you know your child better than anyone. You know your child better than me, better than those teachers, better than those administrators. So who better to plan and prepare the right way in such a way that it's so immaculate and then be able to present, persuade, and negotiate. And again, only negotiate if you have to, in the right way if you are the one who can do this. Don't doubt yourself. Don't say I'm thinking about doing this because you're really not thinking about it. Like Christine was bold enough to say, yes, I was looking for validation. I was looking for you to say, yes, your chances are high, or no, your chances are not high. Now, what if I said, no, your chances are not high, shutting her down, and then she doesn't go and ask for a one-on-one for her child, and all I'm going off of is what she's saying here and knowing nothing about the situation. Or even, so when I give advice, as far as I can tell you generally, that's why I speak general, and even with questions and comments that people put over on my group, which if you're not part of the group, head over to Autism Mama Rocks IEP group. So bottom line, if parents ask my opinion or thoughts, I've got to have all the deets. I got to have your IEP. I got to have your FBA or BIP. I got to know from you exactly what you're looking for. I always ask for your top 3 things. You don't want to go in and ask the school system for 10 freaking things and you're all over the place because who can keep up with 10 damn things? Address 3 at a time. All right. So if you have to go in, address 3 at one IEP meeting, get out of the meeting, get in your car, request another IEP meeting, got to meet in 30 days, go 30 days later, ask for 3 more, 30 days later, ask for 3 more, do it that way. It's a lot more productive versus ask for 10 at one time and the school system's like confused as hell. You probably are too. All right. So think about what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're going to be most productive. Again, my cart closes on Sunday for my course. It's super, super, super reasonable. You get payments of $4. If you're interested, PM me. Okay. There's actual students actually in this line of group right now who can give you all kinds of references. Plus I have a ton of outside references, but if you're interested, okay. But anyway, so Christine, as far as a one-on-one, I'm not going to validate you. Okay. You obviously know because you're thinking of asking for a one-on-one for your child based off of what? What are you basing it off of? What's your reasoning? And what do you have to prove your reasoning? That's my question. All right. Anybody that responds typically on a Q&A or live like this, I can't typically answer your questions in detail until I ask you more questions because you don't put everything here. Okay. Until I know your situation. Okay. Your child does this, 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 and this. And you're asking for an BIP or you want an FBA or you want a one-on-one, then I got to know, number one, what is your child doing that's impacting their education that would validate the fact that you need a one-on-one? So what are they doing that there's no way they'd be able to be an LRE without a one-on-one? That's what you got to ask yourself. What are they doing that I'm thinking is what she says, what she knows she's going to ask for a one-on-one. But what is your child doing that's making you say, okay, I'm going to ask for a one-on-one because? Why? Tell me why. And Azar, you too. You said you want a one-on-one. Why? Why do you want a one-on-one? That doesn't tell me anything. If I was the administration and you said, I want a one-on-one based off safety, I'd be like, and? That told me nothing. Even though safety is the number one reason to have a one-on-one, believe it or not, it is. Safety is number one. across the board in the school system. Safety is number one. They have to do that or they're going to be sued out the ass. So that's number one. Behavior would be probably number two. Behavior that's self-inflicting or behavior that would hurt another child. Because bottom line, special education is also based off the impact that your child has on the education of other students. Did you know that? So I got to know why. I mean, someone saying, hey, I need a one-on-one because it's safety, or I'm thinking about asking for a one-on-one. What does that tell me? What would that tell the school? Nothing. So you will fail. I would say if you go in and you say, I need a one-on-one based off safety, and you went in and said, I'm thinking of asking you guys for a one-on-one, they'd be like, okay, no. That's what they would say. So if you want to do what I say in reference to becoming the CEO of your IEP meeting, and bottom line, understanding the PPPN process, and bottom line, getting it done. All right. If you want that, then you have to be able to accurately do this in the right way. All right. And it's too much to get into on a live. All right. That's why I teach it in a course and took 7 months to create a full-blown course on the IEP process from start to finish, covering everything, including charter schools, private schools, transitions, everything, literally. Along with the fact that you get my whole educational vault on my website and the 5 laws and the hour-and-a-half video and all that. And I'm telling you this because my cart closes on Sunday and I don't know when I'm going to do it again. I've spent 7 months of my life working on this and I'm exhausted. So my students now need to get my one-on-one attention. So that's why a lot of my lives and my question and answers and my Monday tip of the week is going to be shortening because I have to give my students one-on-one. And the students that are enrolled and are enrolling before Sunday, because a lot of people still are, they were just waiting to get paid on Friday, is the reason for that is because I'm writing emails for people, as you see. I'm going through IEPs, which normally I'm just giving you the course. You do it at your own pace. You can take 6 weeks or 6 years. And then we have a private Facebook group where all kinds of stuff is happening. You actually get homework. And again, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So obviously I can't make you do the homework, but it will help create a ongoing thought process for you and help you see what things need to be done so that you can accurately present and persuade in the right way. And it kind of walks you through the whole process. I give you 50 million questions of what you're doing. I give you literally how you go into the IEP. I show you and tell you how to go into the IEP and mirror them to get things done, and how you run that meeting as the CEO. And like I said, and I say all the time, when I came up with, I was like, what can I say that, what do I do? When I thought about, I've been an advocate for forever, but coming online is new. I'm only like 4 months in and my page is blown up. And that's just because friends said, hey, Raven, you've been doing this long enough. You need to take this online. This is a real need. And then I took it online and holy crap, it's definitely a real need. But it's interesting how it's all come into play, how it's such a huge need. And I work with parents and talk to parents all the time. I should show you, daily I'll try to mark the parent out so I can just show you. People PM me a damn book, no joke. Like, they don't just PM me, hey, how are you, and 2 words. No, I get books, literally. Let me show you if it even shows up. I got to keep the parent's name out of it, though. So hold on. I'm going to take a picture. All right. Let me take a picture of this. Y'all are going to flip. You think I'm kidding? I ain't kidding. All right. Let me just mark the parent's name out. And let me see if I can do this. All right. Now I got to take a picture. So hold on. I'm going to show you this because I don't want the parent's information. So hold on. Y'all are going to flip when you see this. No joke. Literally Flint. Look, I'm still taking pictures. Oh shit. Where'd I end that one? Level. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to show you this. I mean, this is... And I got to respond to this. Well, I guess I don't have to, but I am. Y'all are going to flip when you see this. It's crazy. All right. All right, hold on. Now let me cut the parent's name out of the one. All right, let me make sure the parent's name's not in it. Okay, she is. Okay. All right. Y'all are going to be like, what the heck? All right, so there's the, can you see? There's the first one. Okay, this is just me taking pictures of the whole thing. There's another one. This is one message. Oh yeah, I'm not done. This is one message today. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pictures to get through the whole thing. That's what I get daily. Several of them. No joke. So when I help parents, I try to help them based off, their child's needs. So this parent is actually in my course, and so they're telling me their situations because each week when we do, because in the course you get the private Facebook group that you do homework, we collaborate, we talk, they go live themselves. Then I also offer a Zoom face-to-face chat. So we're going to be doing role play. They're sending me their information because one thing I'm going to do that they don't know I'm going to do yet is, and I'm going to announce today, is each week I'm going to cover one person. So week 1, I'm going to cover so-and-so, and we're going to go through their whole situation. So we're going to go through their IEP. We're going to go through their progress reports. We're going to go through both of their evaluations, their IE and the evaluation the school did. We're going to go through their school records if there's anything that jumps out. We're going to go through everything. That's why I'm giving the parent a week. And then we're going to dissect it. When I go through an IEP, I dissect it by page in depth. And that's super important. I have one person in my course, her... don't quote me, but it's in the 80s. I want to say it. She said it's 85 pages. Tara, do you remember what she said? Or Nitra, are you in my course? Or who else is on here? Sabrina, do you remember what Cheryl said? It's like 85 pages, her IEP. Mine's 29, and I thought that was long. Can you imagine 85 pages? Holy shit. I mean, what parent is going to read that? I mean... I would lose my ever-loving mind. Literally. They need to cut that IEP. And the reason school systems do that at times is to overwhelm the parents knowingly and knowing that they're not going to read that. There's no way that they're going to be able to read it and process it. I mean, you literally have to go through like 10 to 20 pages a day times how many you have to do to get to 85. Because after you read so much, like to comprehend it and be able to dissect it, you're like, where do you email his current, what do you mean? Should I bring an advocate with me? I was going to bring his home ABA teacher with me. I usually go to the IEP meetings by myself. Like I said, I teach parents to not bring advocates. I mean, because it's a crutch. And I'll even have a lot of parents on here, which I highly disagree with, but I let them post their opinion. I don't care. Where people will go and get free advocates. Think about it. Who does stuff for free ongoing? They don't. They don't. And they're sure going to not put their heart and soul into it. But people do it. And, they'll have one or two, successes. And, then there's going to be a time the advocate can't go. And then you're going to maybe have a failure because you've had that crutch. And so I don't do that. I believe, and my belief, everybody has a right to their opinion. You should learn for yourself how to advocate in the right way. Once it's broken down for you, it's simple. To be honest, Christine, so simple. PM me. I'll talk to you about the course. There's other parents on here that are in the course too. Write something that you may be interested. I'm sure they'll PM you. But yeah, learn for yourself. Why bring an advocate? Think about it. When you bring an advocate, I'm an advocate. I don't have anything against advocates. Shoot, I'll show up via Zoom because it doesn't matter how you show up physically or Zoom or whatever. The school has to provide it, and they have to go to the maximum extent to be able to provide what is needed for your child. And you have every right within IDEA and everything else within the state to have an advocate, whether it be via Zoom or which people do Skype, they do Zoom, they do in person. And the thing is, and it doesn't matter where an advocate shows up as long as they're there and they know your situation and can advocate. So bottom line, but a lot of people like that handheld advocate that goes with them. But the thing is that advocate that people get for free, and like I said, I'm not downing advocates. I'm friends with a lot of advocates, but none of us do anything for free. Because like I do lives for free, I do free calls, I do free documentation and PDFs, I do all that kind of stuff for free. But like, for example, the 7 months I worked hard on a course to give you the whole process, the whole enchilada, and then I give you my time of hopping on face-to-face Zooms and role-playing with you and getting you completely prepped, going through your IEP, going through emails, going through all these kinds of things to really get you prepped to be able to do things on your own. And then it's practice makes perfect. And you're recording your meeting, so then you can come back, show me and even the other students in the course and show and let us hear portions of the recording that you feel is important, and then we're able to give constructive criticism or tell you how amazing it was. So to me, that's more productive because then you have the knowledge and confidence to do things on your own versus say things like I'm thinking. And then think about it like, I have a whole team that did the whole back end of my course. I wrote the course. They did the whole back end with the integration and getting out emails and the whole membership site, all that kind of stuff. I wrote it. That's it. Everything else on the back end, I don't know anything about the back end computer stuff or the membership site or anything. I have the links to get to parents, but if there's an issue, my team deals with it. But I'll tell you this, it drives me insane not knowing how to do it on my own, which they're going to show me, so I have the basics. But that drives me nuts. That's just my personality, though, is I like to know how to do it. Teach me. I love education. So, I have 2 master's degrees. It doesn't do anything in reference to IEP, but I like to learn. So my thing is I want to do it myself. Show me how to do it. Once I'm shown and I have the tools, I got it. It may not be perfect the first IEP, may not be perfect the second, but you're going to get it. And you're going to get constructive criticism and ongoing help. But bottom line, do it yourself. Why get an advocate that is not always going to be there for you? They're not. And then you got to look at who pays them. So if you get an advocate in your county, who's paying them? If the payment is coming from the payment in which the school is provided, then there's going to be bias there. Bottom line. So I tell parents to just think, you got to make choices for yourselves. That's what I try to teach you. You got to make your own choices and decisions. Just stop thinking about things so much and getting things all jumbled and just take action. If you screw up, so what? Do it again. You screw up again? Who cares? Do it again. That's it. It's that easy. And knowing the process saves you a ton of time and effort and stress and overwhelm versus trusting somebody else to fight for your child the way you would. Do you really believe that somebody else could fight for your child the way you could? Just my 2 cents. Doesn't mean anything, but I figured I'd offer it. All right. So Azar and Christine, you can always ask for a one-on-one. No one cares. Will it happen? I have no idea. If you want to post why, then I could give you an idea of pro and con. But if I don't know, then I can't give you anything, because what would I base it off of? Yeah, you can look at it, Christine. And there's other people on here. So Tara or anybody on here, Sabrina, they all can give you advice in reference to the course. And then, yeah, PM me and I'll talk to you. And there's a 4-payment plan, so it's so easy and affordable. I wanted to do that for parents to help them. That's why I do this, but also make it reasonable and affordable, because I know many of us struggle, live paycheck to paycheck, and yet we still want to do whatever we have to for our kids, but we can't break the budget and kill ourselves. But at the same time, we're struggling with, my kid needs this bad, and I'm tired of being tired and overwhelmed and stressed and frustrated and feeling like I'm going to pull my hair out. I mean, you guys should see the videos that I had my students do. All right. So I told them that part of this process, and believe it or not, if you think about it, it totally is. I said, you need to get out of your comfort zones. You need to stop being so caught up in your head and get your head on straight and your mindset straight so that you can do this. So think about when you go to an IEP meeting, like you're talking about an advocate. Why? To hold your hand, right? To give you that sense of security. And so the thing is there's no better sense of security than having the knowledge and confidence to do it for yourself. So I had my students go live, which many of them have never gone live, ever. All right. And perfection or not, they went live, they went out of their comfort zone, and I asked them to tell their story. And I told them, to tell me why they chose to take the course, what prompted them to do that, about their child, their story, etc. Right? And so, some of them, of course, got very emotional with everything that they've been through, and then somehow came into sight of my page or whatever. And I'm not going to go into detail about all their business, but bottom line, they came out of their comfort zone. And if you don't do that, how are you going to go and sit with a whole bunch of people at the table? I mean, at my IEP, I don't have it right here, but I have OT, PT, speech, dance therapy, the adaptive PE teacher, the keyboarding teacher, the special education teacher, the whole ABA team, which is 4. So that's 11. And the director of special education, 12. The reading specialist, 13. That's it. 13 people at my IEP. So think about whatever you guys have, because I talk about all the time, and I lecture about this. You better have the right people at your IEP meeting. Or that's number one reason why you're getting no's. But yeah, I mean, that's scary. I was petrified for years, petrified, just petrified. I mean, even to this day, I get nervous when I get emails. Like when I got this complaint back, I started shaking. No joke. It was just an automatic response, because anything pertaining to this IEP, even though I've perfected it, even though I've perfected the process, I still get that nervous feeling, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, like, oh my God. And I have to kind of get my mindset together to be able to read it. Why? Because the hell I've been through. It pulls all those emotions back up. So just because I've perfected the process and I get things done doesn't mean that I don't get nervous and I'm not in the trenches with you, or, don't make complaints or whatever because things aren't implemented, etc. And get that nervous, anxiety, upset feeling, because I remember like it was yesterday the hell I was put through. I mean, when I say hell, I was put through hell. I mean, hell. So I get that overwhelming feeling more than you possibly know because I went through it for 6.5 years before I figured out this whole damn process of like I like I joke and I got my Google PhD. I got real smart in Google and all the bullshit on there, um, and that's not updated. um, but yeah, I mean, some sites are valid, but a lot of things aren't even updated to where they need to be. Um, I'll give you an example in regards to even in Pete Wright, who is in my state, and I've taken a ton of his trainings for advocates. In his book, which he needs to update, that I told him he needed to update, was there used to be something called where you can make a complaint in regards to a qualified, um, what is it called? Highly qualified teacher. That's not an idea anymore. So it was removed. And a lot of people don't know that. And so they'll still state it that the teacher wasn't qualified or that the therapist wasn't highly qualified or whatever based off possible regression or something like that. But if you look online, people still say it and it's still put in there because they haven't updated their sites to be more accurate with the things that were amended in IDEA. So like the site, I use the advocate site with COPA and have a private area where things are updated on a monthly basis based off IDEA. And then we can click on different states in regards to state law. Like, for example, in IDEA, it says you have 60 days. The school has 60 days in which to conduct an evaluation. While in Virginia, and it can't be that far from IDEA, but in Virginia, it's 65 days, So I have to look up the law when I'm quoting something, and then because I always look it back up to make sure I'm quoting it accurately every time, and then I look up that state and compare the two and then put that into play. But the fact that it's updated monthly versus shit that's been on there for God knows when. I mean, if you think about it, IDEA has been out since 2004. You think some of these sites have updated things since 2004 with the several amendments that's been done with IDEA. So that's important too. And Christine, I actually have all that in my course. Things are updated and relevant to today versus 2004 when the IDEA was last updated and documented. However, there's now a commentary out and there's also an amendment in regards to that, and it's not something that's actually online, which is weird. So I'm glad I have access to that. But yeah, it's crazy. And then, when you get the course, you also get any updates that happen. Hopefully, pray to God that IDEA updates some of the laws, because one that drives me insane is in regards to the school system doing things, or in regards to emails and them responding to you and things like that. It's stated in IDEA that the school system has what's called a reasonable amount of time frame, and the bullshit in that is what's reasonable. We know for a fact that 1 year is reasonable, which is why all states allow parents to not have to do what I highly don't recommend, is doing a triennial every 3-year evaluation. You should do an evaluation every single year. Your child changes every single year. And legally speaking, every state allows you to get an evaluation every single year, because that's obviously a year is deemed reasonable and there's no argument there. However, and the reasoning is you can ask for a reevaluation or the school can ask for a reevaluation based off the need, okay? And it can go either way. And the school system cannot tell you no if you ask for it on a yearly basis, okay? Now, if you ask for it every 6 months or whatever, yeah, they can say no because that's not reasonable. As far as what else? There's so many different things that need changed, but that reasonable needs to change because, so you're saying that a school system can wait 6 months or 4 months to get back to me in regards to an email because IDEA states that It's just reasonable, which is generalistic, versus they got 30 days. They got 7 calendar days. You know, remember, there's a difference between calendar days and school days. All right. All right. I would like to look at it. Okay, so Christine, yeah, PM me, and I mean, Tara commented down below, but also on my group, there's a lot of testimonials as well. But PM me. Anitra says, love Raven and her group. Any questions I've had in my head always get answered before I ask. Love that she's straightforward, honest, knowledgeable, and very helpful. Thank you, Anitra. Tara says, I love the course. I'll give references to anyone that is thinking about getting the course but hasn't. Oh, thank you. Christine says, I'm just concerned about how he would be at lunchtime in regards to safety. Christine says he is in self-contained class. Wow, why? Like all the time? Is he mainstreamed? Christine says with ABA, he's in pre-K 4. Have you observed him at lunchtime sitting yet? Okay. And what do you mean it's too long, Tara? And Christine, message me. We'll have to talk. Let's do a discovery call. So message me. I actually have some time today. Let me see how many discovery calls I have today. I have several tomorrow, I think all day, back to back. But today, I'm looking at my calendar because it actually comes. People go to Acuity and schedule, and then it comes to my phone. So today, which I have to leave. I've got to go to a doctor's appointment. Okay, today I have a 4:15 and a 5. And then tomorrow, it's all day back to back. So I can talk to you today. I have to go to an appointment. I have to actually leave now. And I can talk to you today if you want. I can talk to you now on my way to the doctor, or I can talk to you possibly right after, but I have a 4:15. So PM me, Christine, and I'll PM me your number. The girls 85 pay. Yeah, too long. We got to cut that down. That's crazy. That's the school system being assholes. All right, I got to go. I got 20 minutes to get to a doctor's appointment. Yeah. All right. So thanks for being on here. It's been a whole hour and 17 minutes. See guys, I never know how to go short, but I did stay short on my information on the email stuff. I did do a good job there. As far as for you newbies, I always go above and beyond as far as information, and then I look and I'm like an hour and a half in. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You got some good content in regards to how an email can make or break you, bottom line, and it's crucial to know how to write them. Okay. And if you're interested in the course that is closing on Sunday, PM me. I will talk with you in detail in reference to that. If you need references, let me know. And you don't want to miss out. It is going up the next time I launch. And I'm not sure when that is. I'm actually going to work with my students, break down, when I do these Thursday lives and my Monday tip of the week. I'm going to be shortening them because Mondays actually are going to be after the tip of the week. I'm going to be meeting with my students on a face-to-face Zoom chat, and I need to give them a lot of one-on-one to get them through this process and in the right direction. And so that's where a lot of my time is going to be. Plus, it took me I just launched it last weekend, and it took me 7 months of no life. To the point where the day went by and I was just like, oh my God, I need more hours in the day, because it was intense, getting it all done and putting it all together. And it definitely wasn't an overnight thing with all the research that had to go into it. So, with that said, I'm like, need a break. So I'm welcoming teaching my current students and not having all that work in front of me. So that's where I'm at now. So I don't know when I'm going to launch it again. I'm going to take some time off. So it does close on Sunday. All right. Thank you, Sabrina, and thank you, Anitra. And I will talk to you guys soon. I will do a watch party tonight with this over on the group. And if you're new and you have not joined the group yet, it's Autism Mama Rocks the IEP group. And it's an awesome place where a lot of people talk a ton. And it's great. Okay. So I will talk to you guys soon. And make sure you message me again if you're interested in the course, or if you have any questions or you want to hop on a discovery call. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.